Everyone wants to buy top, solid, quality dividend stocks. But my viewpoint is people get it wrong a lot. In this video, I'm going to show you the type of formula and the type of things I look for, the platform that I recommend people to use as a beginner because it's the easiest and you can find the most information very, very quickly, but also step by step in terms of the obvious fundamentals of why you should be picking certain companies, because stock picking is quite hard. But if you are building a dividend portfolio for the passive income side for the aim of financial freedom in the long term, this video should help you find some obvious stocks. Now, I am doing my own personal challenge, getting my ISA hopefully to £1 million by the time I'm 50. Whether I do that or not will be down to the platform I'm recommending. Now, this video here is not financial advice, but I will be talking about individual stocks. I will be talking about a certain formula that I use, but I'm also going to give you some scenarios where you may be looking for something a bit different to me to find the best dividend stocks. There will be some rules, there will be some presets, there will be some kind of situations that I go by that you may not agree with. But I want to make it simple. Not financial advice, educational purposes only. This is how to find good, solid stocks. Now, the obvious in the room, we're going to just go with it. Trading 212 offers a lot of Christmas tree lights of, oh my God, flashy logos, green and red. This is amazing. But you've got a bit of a drawback here. This is why third parties are amazing in terms of usage. As I say, you can see all this kind of stuff here. That's the UK's biggest. And this is Aviva. I have Aviva. I rate Aviva a lot. But when you do your research on Aviva, for example here, you can get some information such as the dividends, okay? The yield, okay? The PE ratio, yeah. But you are very much limited in terms of information you get. And also the data that you see can be quite wishy-washy and a bit hard to kind of read. So this is why we don't use just a broker alone, right? But go to search bar. If you're in London, if you're in the New York Stock Exchange, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can use a platform I'm going to recommend anyways, but be mindful, of the withholding tax if you're in a stocks and shares ISA, which is another tip. People forget this. Use a stocks and shares ISA. If you're in America, use the equivalent of, try and keep it so your long-term dividends will pay you and you don't pay tax on it. That could be huge. So the platform I'm going to be using is Snowball. The reason being, there's other platforms available, obviously. You can do a lot of research. The first thing you need to do is write a list of all the stocks that you fancy. The keyword is fancy, right? You then need to do your research and your due diligence, and this is the platform you're going to use because this will display the data the best. It's free to use for the first 14 days. I have a discount code in my link below. Highly recommend you use it. We're going to go through certain parts of it today. You get dividend ranks. You can find out when you're going to get paid, what ratings and all that kind of stuff, safety ratings. You're also going to find out very, very quickly how your portfolio can compound and when you're going to get paid. It's amazing. So I want to talk about my portfolio, but I also want to talk about some problems people have. Check the dividend growth, not just the yield, right? So the formula for me, and if you follow me and you've been following me, and feel free to press that subscribe button if you want to learn more, is all about the dividend growth. I want a solid company that is quality with a rising balance sheet and a rising dividend yield. And I know for some people that's like, what are you on about? But too many people, for me, go into the dividend world and they find the 15-14%, but actually the prices have crashed. I will show you an example of that in a minute. But the reality is, when you are doing your research, you need to find all the information that is a rounded thing about many different things, such as the payout ratio, the cash flow, right? How much the dividend is growing, what dividend streak have they got, what the company is first and foremost. Can you walk in it? Are you happy with it? Are you happy to part your money with said company because you've done a bit of research on it? Let me explain the basics, right? So the one thing you need to do on this platform is go to tools and go to top dividend stocks. Now, one thing about this one, and already I've set it to the top dividend yield. Okay, we're going to go with it. Watch me. But one thing with this is it only selects the top 60, right? So it actually gives you a way to avoid the crap. So when you're doing your research, you might be limited. So as I say before, build a watch list, okay? And then put it in the search bar, because sometimes the dividend rating is a little bit skewed because of coronavirus, right? Why? What happened there? Some dividends were like cut off completely or stopped. That was only 5 years ago. or even 4 years ago. Okay, so it still actually appears on the rating. Eventually, when they get binned off, the ratings will improve. You'll see that. So when we look at the likes of Impact's asset management group, right, looks brilliant in terms of the dividend rating of a 60. Dividend growth over 5 years, 43%, sorry. Payout, 96%. That basically means 96% of bloody profits are going to freaking, yeah, ridiculous. But look at the price performance. Over the course of a 5-year time period, you are down 64%. What an investment. That is where people go wrong very, very quickly. You need to look for the obvious: lower yield and a growing dividend. That's for me. If you want to go stupid on income, I wouldn't even recommend this anyways. You're better off just buying a tech stock and hoping for the best and crossing your fingers and your bollocks, basically. So just be mindful of it, right? So let's talk about other things. When you go onto this platform, yeah, it's quite easy to use. Go to the top dividend stocks, right? You can pick whatever, sector or whatever, and there you go. There's utilities. Woohoo. You can find 3 good ones. I actually own Drax. I really like Drax a lot. Now, this is Drax. You can see all my purchases, quite a few. You can see that, I've rebalanced recently and I have made some decent money. I've total profit, capital gain so far, realized 530 because I do rebalance my portfolio every now and again. And you can see very quickly, yield on cost is 4.04%. Why is that important? Well, actually, the dividend yield currently is 4.83%, so that's important. I am buying a company that raises its dividend. Dividend growth over 5 years, 10.28%. Every 9 years, it's been growing. 9 years growth, 9 years growth. It's been growing it for 9 consecutive years. That is a huge factor, right? So you're looking at a very, very top solid stock. But you're probably thinking, what is it? Well, actually, what is it? It's a massive power plant. If you scroll down, you can see, and it gives you a bit of information about renewable power generation. You can operate a power. You get the idea. You should be doing your own research on that. But ultimately, it is a fantastic asset. And if you just go onto the Google, you've probably heard of Google, right? Put in the ticker and the stock, and you'll probably find the website very, very easily. But other information you may want to know about Drax, for example, right, balance sheets, dividends, all that kind of stuff, right? If you just press dividends here, it showcases the payout, it showcases the safety rating, the streaks, the growth, unbelievable growth, decent dividend yield. Yeah, this is what you want to look for. If you're looking for a company like myself, you're looking for it to kind of grow. And with that growth, it's going to increase your payouts over time. The stocks that you bought ages ago will be worth even more. It's brilliant in terms of dividend payout, that is. When we talk about financials, you also want a rising revenue. You want the cash flow to increase. You want it just to become better and bigger and bolder and pay out more, obviously. So it just makes sense looking for that sort of situation. And you can look at the balance sheet. Yeah, cool. You can look at the cash flow. Yeah, all right. It's not too bad. They've been spending quite a bit, but ultimately as well, you can see total operations has changed. That's quite good. So there's certain things happening with this, which is absolutely fine. And then with the main one as well, statistics. What does statistics telling us over the course of time? You can see very, very quickly, debt to equity, revenue per share, that's changed a lot. Payout ratios and stuff. It's been some crazy stuff here. But it is actually very, very healthy, realistically. And again, you can talk about COVID being a bit of a wash. Yeah, it happens with most things. But yeah. You can go down the massive rabbit hole here and find all kinds. So as I say, go onto here, go to the top stocks. If you want to go onto a different sector, for example, I don't know, financials, press the search button. You're going to find a load more. Bear with me. So yeah, when you go to financials, for example, here, you can find even more. You can see all these other companies, depending on what you're looking for. You can see certain things. AJ Bell was a company that I held recently. The reason why I sold it wasn't because it was rubbish. It was the fact that the dividend yield was too low in terms of my overall gain. And you could argue, yeah, it's not too bad, but I wanted a bit more. I took my money and ran basically because, the dividend yield's only 2.35%. Not amazing, but ultimately the dividend growth has been pretty mental and I don't think it's going to sustain over the long term. That's fine, but ultimately at the end of the day, I easily replaced that and I also made some pretty good money on this essentially. So as I've showcased before in a video, you can see here I made 8% on it. Pretty decent return. And I'm very, very happy considering I only got £31 in dividends for holding it because it's quite a low payout. But when you're building your own portfolio, I mentioned it before, write a list. You need to understand that they might be in different sectors, such as obviously utilities, insurers, financials, defensive, consumer, whatever. Now, when you start building a portfolio, you can build a watch list on here, right? All you need to do, press the star button. Simple as that. Create a watch list. Add your stuff, right? So if you're looking at, say, Barclays, for example, right, you can add that. What it'll do is it'll give you all the bump. Cool, right? And it'll tell you even more information. One thing that you can do, which will make it much easier, by the way, is go onto here, and then if you want to go sector, boom, helpful. Also, P/E ratio, or more importantly, dividend side of it. What's the dividend growth for this over 5 years? Well, I wonder. And then you can start building a picture. And as I say at the start of this video, build a watch list, and then you can kind of fine tune it very quickly in terms of what you want to look for. And you want to avoid the high debt stuff, the cyclical traps, the money traps, the yield traps, all kind of stuff. And as I say, I'd rather earn 4% over the course of like every single year, but it looks likely it's going to grow versus say a 10% is more likely going to get cut. Because when you actually build your own dividend portfolio, this is what it'll look like. This is mine, 2.98%, 3.06% yield on cost, which is brilliant considering it's a very, very new portfolio, and that should hopefully rise as you go. It tells you what the biggest payouts are. It tells you as well what the dividend rating is. Now, some of mine are not safe only because COVID kind of threw a wobbly on them and it kind of ruined them a little bit. But the main thing is you can see the overall growth. What is the annual growth of these dividends? Most of mine grow their dividends, which is important, right? You can also see when you're going to get paid, which is important too, because actually for some people, you may buy a certain type of stock and you may only have 4 or 5 of them. You may only get paid twice a year. That's a bit rubbish. You want to get paid quite a lot of the times. And you can see here over the course of the time, there's enough months here to kind of not worry about it. Yeah, December's missing. You could argue March is missing. That's fine. Who cares? At the end of the day, I'm getting paid most of the year throughout that. And again, you can look at the calendar. You can see exactly when you're going to get paid, what you're going to get paid. You can also look into the future of 2026 and when you're going to get paid. So in January, I'm going to get paid. In February, I'm going to get paid. In May, I'm going to get paid. So there will be a missing on March and April there. But realistically, £375, sweet. But if you've seen my channel before, you'll know if you go to portfolio, then goal. When your portfolio is put in here, you can see the overall goal based on returns or on passive income. So say, for example, if you want to make £15,000 per year, right? And if I put this in, calculate, and I'm putting the maximum in every single year of my ISA, you can see that we're going to hit that number pretty bloody quickly. Basically, not that far away, realistically, in terms of the passive income portfolio, because it's going to compound pretty aggressively with the yield, with the dividend growth, and the reinvestment of those dividends. Now, as you can see here, you can see it pretty much goes pretty mental very, very quickly. So, yeah, it just depends on how you look at it in terms of the safety of this portfolio. But that's with inflation added too. So it's going to be a bit of an interesting metric. But ultimately, you can be making £15,000 by 2037, realistically, in this portfolio. That is crazy considering how much you've already put into it over the course of time. So you're going to have a nest egg as well as decent passive income. And that's with a portfolio with very, very low yield. But to finish off, in terms of my overall portfolio, as I say, it's all down to you, but this is the basics. The one thing that throws my portfolio a little bit is the 5-year growth yield. If this was over a 3-year period, everything will be pretty much green. Look, for example, Admiral, give you an idea. Admiral's one of the new ones, but over the course of time, it's doing okay. But actually, the dividend growth over the 5 years is a bit washed because of this massive drop. Now it's starting to rise again, so it will probably change. Growth over the last year, 19%. Once it hits the 3%, it'll be fine, and then 5%. So then you'll start seeing a much better data. So don't just be like narrow-minded and look at the 5-year side of it. Look at what's been happening in the recent history. You may find there's an obvious omission there. But yeah, you can see here, it's a brand new asset. It's looking pretty good so far. But at the end of the day, it's an obvious pick and it fits my portfolio. Even in the short term, it does. But look at that. The growth in the company has been pretty parabolic, realistically. So yeah, it's a solid company. And as you can imagine, it fits my portfolio. But the final thing is, every portfolio that you pick will be different to other people. Don't get tribalistic. But doing your own research by looking on the broker, then getting a list and then finding out certain metrics. You may only want to get a 5% yield. You may only like certain types of stocks. You may want a dividend growing sort of situation. You may want to get momentum, so it'd be more momentum plays versus say dividends as well. In terms of finding that, you may like obviously tech stocks. You may think, you know what, I believe massively in the tech world. I'm going to use those dividends that are maybe small, but they may be growing. For example, the likes of Nvidia that's recently just started doing it, Microsoft, Apple, where they're very, very low, but actually a long term might pay you a lot more. So yeah, that's how I pick my dividend stocks. I look for growth, I look for consistency and sustainability at the end of the day. Nothing's perfect. Stocks can go up and down, but if you've got something that's quality, solid, that you've heard of and you understand the business, it makes it so much easier to pick. And then you can just hold on to them. They shouldn't really be the pillar point of your portfolio early on if you're young. Have some index funds and ETFs and whatnot. But more often than not, you will convert those profits into a more stable income, and that will grow and grow and grow and compound. And then all of a sudden, guess what? You'll have lots of passive income, and then you won't have to invest as much. Perfect. And if you want my full setup and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and my goal, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, there's a link to Snowball. You get discount access. Try the free trial. You'll enjoy it.